TopMedTalk.
Hello and welcome to TopMedTalk. I'm Desiree Chappell, host and managing editor of TopMedTalk, and I'm joined by Monty, Mythen, editor-in-chief. Hello, Monty.
Hey, Desiree. Good to be here.
And right now we are able to sit down with a friend of TopMedTalk, Dr. Gerard Danjoux.
Yep, that's
yes.
right.
Hi,
yep.
Jerry. How are you?
Hi, and nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down with us again.
Yep.
This is sort of Jerry's baby. He should probably
It is Jerry's
expand on
baby.
that.
I know.
Well, that's a tough order, isn't it? So I'm really interested in this concept of prehabilitation and improving fitness before surgery. And I think you can see here with the number of delegates we've got, over 500, that there's a massive international interest in this. And also the links from other areas of like public health and Sport England here this morning.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of interest in this concept of improving health and well-being before surgery.
Well, and it's fantastic because it's a true multidisciplinary
absolutely.
Group coming together.
On behalf of the World Congress, Jerry, you're a local sort of co-host of this. You put together this with some pals.
Yeah, so basically we were approached by the Eindhoven team who held the meeting in Holland last year, and Mike Grocott and I have been co-lead for this meeting. We've been working with Franco Carli in Canada and Gerard Sluter in Eindhoven. We've been the core organising committee. And it's amazing how things hatch from a series of kind of virtual Skype meetings.
Yeah.
This is the third one, as you said.
It's
the first one was in Canada, was that right?
So the first one was in Montreal in Canada. And at that stage there were about 30 delegates. Last year they had about 200 delegates in Eindhoven. And now we've broken 500.
Fantastic.
Oh, man.
And we could have had 600, 700, 800.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
There we go.
Well, Jerry, you were telling us about one of the presenters today, Ken van Someren, and he was able to sit down with us. Can you introduce us?
Yeah, so Ken and I have known each other for a couple of years, and I was gravitated towards Ken because he's an expert in human performance and exercise science. And I've always had an interest as to how we can translate that into the care for our patients. And I think that's kind of one of Ken's areas of interest. So we're delighted to have you here, Ken, today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gerard. Delighted to be here. I guess I feel somewhat of an imposter here in this world.
No.
But as a sports scientist, most of my career has been around elite performance. So helping athletes and coaches achieve the very pinnacle of their performance. But really all the way through my career looking at how can we take some of those insights and approaches and help the wider population improve, whether it be health, well-being, optimising their own potential. And currently looking at that across, consumer goods, so improving health and well-being in the general population, looking at the workplace as well, how we can enhance employee performance, as well as, of course, the obvious in sport and athletes.
So, Ken, I think I'm going to flip that on you. I think there's an argument that anyone here, that they're the imposters.
Right? I know.
They're trying to translate what you've been doing, you and your colleagues have been doing for decades, into the benefit of the perioperative patient. So, I think I first met you in one of the Olympic training camps.
That's right.
Around the time of the 2012 Olympics. Fantastic day out.
It was. I remember it very well. And actually, I was fortunate enough to be invited to speak at a conference that Jerry organised 2 years ago. And I must admit, I came along to that absolutely feeling, an imposter and thinking, what on earth am I doing here? Who's going to be interested in what I've got to say around the concept of marginal gains and the approaches we apply in sport? And what I was blown away by 2 years ago, and even more so this morning, so far in the conference, is just the attention to detail and the amount of, application of science, but quest for new science and understanding to see how can we take this relatively short opportunity to maximise the patient's chance of success, recovery, and indeed survival in some cases. So delighted to be able to apply and translate across those two worlds.
And last time, Ken, when you spoke to us at the meeting in Edinburgh, it was really that intricate marginal gains that you were talking about in elite performance, like not shaking hands, bringing your own pillow, and things like cold baths are as good as ice baths, but it has to be vertical, not horizontal for recovery. Yeah. That's just incredible that that level of detail.
And I think very often when we talk about marginal gains in sport, a lot of people outside of sport think this is all about really expensive technology and really detailed stuff. And it is sometimes, but that's all built upon a foundation of getting the basics right. Yeah. And for athletes we work with, it's about doing the right type of training at the right time, getting sufficient recovery, including high sleep quality, eating the right things, and being mentally and emotionally strong, well and fit.
And doing simple things to avoid infection.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the big things that takes teams down, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, and actually later on today I'll present some illness and injury surveillance data, but the anecdote or the insight that Jerry refers to there is before, I think it was the London 2012 Olympics, Team GB became known as, the very un-British team that didn't shake hands. Because we were instructing athletes, elbow in the ribs instead. Don't shake hands because you're increasing the risk of exposure to infection. So it's making sure, without becoming too obsessive, we pay attention to what really matters.
Can everything that you just said, though, those are the basic tenets of perioperative medicine and perioperative care. So if anyone can speak to what we're doing, that's it. That's awesome. Well, I know you are getting ready actually to give a lecture here in just a couple minutes. Can you just give us a couple highlights of what you're going to be talking about in your presentation?
Yeah, so what I'm going to try and focus on is just pulling out 4 or 5 insights and experiences from elite sport that I think really matter. One is around this concept of marginal gains. So breaking everything down, where can we make a difference, but making sure, first and foremost, we tackle what I call the basics. Another key area is understanding what we call in sport, what it takes to win. So really understanding the demands of the event. Being fit to fight, I think is a slogan or a mantra that you guys use. And it's very easy when you're athletes cycling in circles around a velodrome. You know exactly what the demands are. Intensive surgery, I would suggest, is probably an awful lot more complicated and myriad demands to it. But we'll try and tease out some insights there. And then probably the third key area would be around people and knowledge. So sport is absolutely a people industry. It's also a knowledge-based industry as well. And we're constantly striving to develop people, connect people, look after people, which we probably don't do as well as we should, but making sure that we're managing, harnessing the collective knowledge so that it benefits every single end user.
Wow.
And the inter-individual responses to training opportunities, to a certain extent, elite athletes start to sub-select themselves based on their response to different challenges. But there's still bespoke training within that, isn't it?
There is, and actually that's another topic I'll talk about, the personalisation or the individualisation. And you're absolutely right. The luxury we have in elite sport in this country is we're pretty well resourced. So for example, the GP triathlon team, the 8 athletes, we can actually measure all of them, we can monitor all of them, and we can develop bespoke individualised strategies for them for training and competition. So I appreciate we can't go that far for every patient, but I think the approach still stands up.
Yeah. So Ken, I've got an interesting question for you. Do you think to aid the recovery of our patients, if we put them in vertical iced baths in wheelie bins, it'll help?
Well, I think there's possibly a danger you'll put them into some sort of shock. So, a lot of the things we do with athletes are clearly with very, very well-trained, highly conditioned individuals. So we've got to be careful there. So if you want to take that away, you can, Jerry.
What about an autologous blood transfusion about halfway through?
Can possibly comment.
Ingestible ketones, beta-hydroxybutyrate.
So here are some brilliant examples. HMB, and actually I've done some research on this in the past around how it can reduce muscle protein catabolism and improve muscle growth.
So everyone won't get that one. That's the potential to ingest ketones to mimic a ketogenic diet, to mimic the starved state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the HMB particularly is a derivative of the amino acid leucine, and so it promotes muscle tissue growth. And actually there's a great talk earlier on today around exactly that. How do we battle sarcopenia and ensure that we overcome frailty and help patients develop and maintain sufficient muscle mass. So, around these winning margins, there's
well, no one's getting tested, but you can give that to everybody.
Yeah. Bring it on.
That's right. Well, Ken, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for sitting down with us. It's been an enlightening conversation. I think we could literally talk to you for all day. And Jerry, what an awesome pick.
Yeah, no, he's a great speaker, and he even practices what he preaches, because he's about to cycle from here this evening or tomorrow to the south of Spain in 10 days.
Oh,
correct.
Well,
yes.
What are you doing for the other 7?
Holidaying, obviously.
So can we live stream these lectures? I hope that's okay with you. And we'll do a secondary podcast if you're happy with that.
Absolutely.
To spread the word. Thanks very much, Ken.
Pleasure. Delighted.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
TopMedTalk. Thanks for downloading TopMedTalk. Don't forget to subscribe via your podcatcher. Don't forget to check us out on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And also, don't forget, TopMedTalk is the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about that. If you check out ebpom.org, you can find low prices on some of the conferences we're organising around the world. Many of them are virtual and don't even involve you leaving your own home. Check out ebpom.org now.